Well, good evening and a very, very Merry Christmas to you. And of course, Christmas here at Camelot Castle has already started. We are very, very early this year. Christmas has come very, very early. We're at the 10th of November. We've already got our Christmas decorations up. And people are flocking in here to Camelot Castle to just experience the Christmas feeling. And we are going to talk about something tonight, which is very, very important. And it's something I was interviewed today by TNT. And I just wanted to share this with you. This country is experiencing a migrant invasion. We are basically the product of a very, very terrifying policy from the British government to flood local villages in Cornwall and in other areas. And I just want to, ask any of you out there, did any of you see the recent communications on GB News where they showed the boats of the people coming over the channel, invading this island? And did you notice how they're being welcomed in to this country? And what I would like to know is, what do you think we should be doing about this? Let me tell you what the government wanted us to do here. They wanted to rent this hotel, and they wanted to put up the immigrant invaders at Camelot Castle. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to put up over 100, and I think it would have been about 120 migrant invaders here at Camelot Castle. And I said to them, well, what about our staff? What are we going to do? They said, oh, don't worry. They said, you can just fire most of your staff, keep about 3. They said, keep 3, because the hotel will need to be cleaned once a week. I said, well, how about the chefs and receptionists? Oh, no, you won't need any of them. Because, of course, we will subcontract all of the cooking, and we'll just bring in Meals on Wheels or something. And that was their plan. And unfortunately for them, they called the wrong hotel. And I called up my dear friend Nigel, and I said, Nigel, you're never going to believe what I've just been offered. And it was an outrageous sum of money, Ryan, thank you so much. Please share this story, because this story, by the way, and I'm going to tell you the fullness of this story. I was only able to get to the root of it. But basically, what we've got in this country going on right now is a planned cultural destruction. And it's in this cultural destruction umbrella is really vicious. Now, please don't get me wrong. I have nothing against any type of sexual expression in any way. But when young children are being told that there are 57 genders, that is planned cultural destruction. That is inappropriate, and you do not want this to be going on. And please don't get me wrong. I love Africans, particularly in Africa, and they're more than welcome to come here on holiday. However, when you import huge numbers of people with a different culture to one's own, and you infiltrate a small island like this. We are a tiny, tiny island. All sorts of places have got far more space than we have. We're a tiny little island with little villages, and you take a village like this and you import into a village of 1,500 people 120 invading male of military age. See, look, here we go. Sarah says, this is happening in Torquay and Paynton. That's right near here. Christopher Upton said, did you enjoy my shooting in Wales? Yes, I did. Thank you very much. We had a marvellous day. 4 days, actually. I was a bit greedy, really. But we did have a fantastic day. Look at this. Same here in Ireland, John. Killarney and Kerry have hotels that have migrants in them and won't let Irish people stay in them. Ladies and gentlemen, what are you going to do about this? Well, I called my friend Nigel, and Nigel, of course, is Nigel Farage, by the way, is a friend to every single decent British person in this country. He has been an amazing friend to this island, and I have to tell you, it's disgraceful how he was treated by the Conservative government. He should have been in the Lords. Who here thinks that Nigel Farage should be in the House of Lords? Well, I think there's a good chance that he may be the next Prime Minister. I genuinely do, and I think he'd do a marvellous job. So there we go. What can I say? Claire Daniels says she agrees. Sue Chippendale says on Avon.
Irina.
My dear wife is calling me. That probably means that I'm saying something that I shouldn't be saying on the live broadcast, I should imagine. I'm just going to send her a little bit of a text. I'm just going to let her know, because if I'm doing a live... Yes, so this is where we're at. So what the government wanted me to do is they wanted to get me a situation. My dear wife actually needs some help, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to end. Oh no, she says, as soon as you're done, please come and help me as soon as you're done. So we're going to go a few more minutes on this. Somebody says Blair should be hung. Well, if he's convicted and if we had a death penalty here, then it is that's somebody's opinion. I don't know what he should be hung for, but perhaps you could illuminate your opinion there. We don't have a death penalty in this country. Some people say we should. I feel, to be honest with you, and the other thing, have you noticed these people hanging off the gantries on the M25? What are they all up to? Why are we putting up with this? Denise says, hello, great to see you. It's great to see you too, Denise. Great to see you too. Sue Chippendale says they've got their cases delivered when they arrive at hotels. Unbelievable. Could you please all share this broadcast? Dave Thornton says, Nige is a very outspoken man and a very good speaker. He speaks his mind. Yes, I do think Nigel should take his seat in the House of Lords. David, I agree with you. Yes, Kylie Wright says, what's everybody's thoughts on Matt Hancock going on a celebrity programme? Oh, well, Patricia Walsh is sharing this. Thank you so much. Just to finish the story, I'd be interested in your thoughts on the Matt Hancock. We can come on to him in a second. Claudia, it's lovely to see you live as well. And Bill Judge says Blair is a war criminal. He may well be. But he needs to be convicted. Sarah Gedai says Matt should be a crocodile supper. Maybe he will be. Maybe that would be one of the challenges in the jungle. Now, Chris Whitehead says hello. Hello. Could you all tell me where you are viewing this broadcast from? I always find it very interesting to know, where are you actually watching from? And when you put your place on the screen, what I'd like all of you to do is to say a little prayer for that person in that location. And let me know if you can feel that prayer, because it's a lovely thing to do. Chris Ram is from Poole in Dorset. Jeanette Swift, Canada, USA, from Stockholm. Fantastic. Look at all these different... New Mexico, East Sussex, from Scotland, England, Birmingham, Whitstable. Oh, I love Whitstable. North Carolina. Just around the corner, Maggie Brocklehurst. Of course you are. You are a Tintagelian. You know, the Tintagelian is a very, very special. Ina Urquhart from Ayrshire in Scotland. Ina, please share this with all of the Scottish Freedom Fighters. I think we're going to be building up this channel. Also, I've got a new Twitter account, everybody. TV Camelot or Camelot TV. You'll find me if you just go onto Twitter. I've had another go. I've got another account going there. Jackie McCormick, love from Greece, Chicago suburbs. See, the reach of Camelot Castle, the love with which the ideas of Camelot permeate. So anyway, let me tell you what happened. Let me finish the story. This government agency turned around and said, oh, just fire all of your staff. And I said, well, the other thing I said, well, what happens if they trash the place? What happens if they try to destroy the furniture, which actually you couldn't replace? People think you can just replace the furniture. You can't. It's centuries old, some of it. You can't just go out and replace this stuff. But they said, oh, don't worry. The government will pay for it all to be. So I said, hang on, that's not the government. That's the taxpayer. That's your money. That's my money. And, they didn't really even understand that. They thought, oh, well, you just send in a bill, somebody pays it, gets paid out of the money tree, the sort of magical money tree that sort of prints money out of thin air. And this is the disconnect that our governments have. And, I often say this, Rishi and I went to the same school. I promise you we did not have the same math teacher. I'd be very surprised if we had the same math teacher, because my math teacher actually told me how to add up and subtract and how to do percentages and work out that actually it's not a very good idea just to keep on printing money. And I don't know who taught him economics at Winchester, but certainly it was not the same economic teacher that I had that taught me that, you should not overborrow, and you should always make sure that you have enough in the piggy bank to pay your bills. Now, really, here's the truth of the matter, and I hate to be the one to break this to you. Our governments have been hijacked by an enemy force. Your government today is not working for you. It's working for this enemy force. And one of the things that enemy force is doing is skinning your country alive. And it's worked out a way to terrify you into surrendering your health and your money. And they came up with a scary, quote-unquote scary disease. I mean, basically it was like the flu. And they came up with this thing. And then they terrified you into various different procedures. And now they've buggered the economy so badly that there's a hotelier down in Newquay that has 4 hotels. And guess what he's done yesterday? He's taken the King's shilling. He's taken the Judas silver. And he has basically laid off all of his staff. And he is going to fill those 4 hotels up with the migrant force. Men of military age are moving into Newquay. That's what's going on. Now, don't tell me that this isn't planned. Now, I can sort of understand the businessman. He's probably broke. He's probably having a hard time finding people to work. And somebody comes along and offers him full occupancy for 12 months on a rolling contract, as they offered to me. And he's gone, you know what? All right, I'm going to get a bit of shit from the people of Newquay. Fine. And he's just gone ahead and he's done it. And he's laid off. He's laid off those workers. They don't know what to do. We've had some of them calling here. They are terrified for their future. Those hotels may never again open to the public. It will destroy Newquay. I mean, Newquay's enough of a mess as it is. I mean, the drugs down in Newquay is unbelievable. It's already a den of iniquity, and really a rather ghastly place as it stands. It's not, it's not the jewel of Cornwall, to be fair. But this is going to turn it into a total cesspit. And, when are the people of Newquay? Are the people of Newquay just going to do nothing? Are they going to do nothing? Are they just going to accept this? And this is what I want to talk to you about, is when do we stand up? When do we stand up? When do we say? When do we stop worrying about what the neighbours think? When do we stop? Listen, I've had it my whole life. As many of you know, obviously having been born into a prominent family in the United Kingdom, as many of you know this. I've lived with people, they do tend to gossip. If I, have a cigarette round the back of the bike shed, well, then it's Mappin that's going to be getting into trouble first, because people tend to like to get you into trouble, that sort of thing. If it's whatever it is, and I of course committed the cardinal sin, of I decided to study Scientology, which was is actually not a sin at all. It's a very positive thing to do, and it was a marvelous thing. And I discovered that Scientology can actually solve a lot of the world's problems. In fact, if people were to study the third-party law on the Scientology website right now, the whole of the situation in the Ukraine with Russia would resolve immediately, because people would realize there's a hidden third party. But what Scientology does do is it can cure anybody with depression in 3 days, and it can cure any drug addict in 6 weeks. So I thought that it was a good thing to be able to cure depression, to be able to cure drug addiction. I thought that would be a good thing. So I decided to publicly become a Scientologist, and I've been a Scientologist for 30 years. Oh no, that's not a good thing. Because there are people that profit from the sale of drugs, so they don't want people to... Good evening, Jane Cole, a fellow Scientologist. What can I say? Wow. Are there any other Scientologists watching out of interest? Because I don't tend to know many Scientologists. We tend to be friends with all sorts of people. We've got all sorts of people we're friends with, but I'd be interested in if there are any Scientologists watching. But I studied Scientology very, very, for over 30 years. And my God, I've taken a shellacking from it. So I'm totally used to standing up. So, the idea of alerting you, my fellow Britons, to the idea that your government has been hijacked and is actually participating in a migrant invasion is not really a particularly daunting task for me. Try standing up against the military-industrial complex and the pharmaceutical-industrial complex and the psychiatric drug. There's a group of companies that just love nothing more than sticking your children on Ritalin. They absolutely adore it. They profit from it. In fact, the grandfather of the entire Ritalin program came to stay here at Camelot Castle. You couldn't believe it. He was absolutely proud as punch that he'd gotten millions of children drugged on Ritalin, which is a type of crystal meth. Well, trust me, he actually had nightmares. He came down in the middle of the night and complained that our conversation over dinner had amounted to guest abuse. I didn't touch him physically, of course, but I did just share a few ideas with him and pointed out to the fact that he probably had taken the lives of several 100,000 children and had destroyed several families, and I suggested that he should probably be in jail. I also did acknowledge that he probably wouldn't get put in jail because the courts are almost entirely corrupted by the psychiatric drug establishment, and they protect their own, don't they? So we live in a world which is very, very peculiar, and, well, there we go. See, Kylie writes, there's so many children now taking these drugs for ADD. Yes, they're crystal meth. ADD is crystal meth, and they give you Ritalin, and they give you various other different things. Ritalin, of course, is used as a street drug. They're legal drug dealers, that's what they are. So we live in a very, very peculiar world. Apparently there are 57 genders, and if you use the wrong pronouns for somebody in Germany, you get fined €2,500. I got going on this coconut rum. It's rather good. When you come to Camelot, do try it. We've got various different flavours of rum here, and I have to say this is rather good. I'm not pushing this particular drug on you. I'm just saying that, once in a while, or a while in once, it's a jolly good little tipple. Anyway, Annalise says, I didn't know that about Ritalin. Wow. There's a very, very good website. Maybe somebody could put it up on the links. It's called cchr.org. CCHR is the Citizens Commission of Human Rights, and it was founded actually by psychiatrist Thomas Azaz and L. Ron Hubbard, who founded the Church of Scientology. And if you go onto that website, cchr.com, if somebody could type that into the comments. Eleanor Boucher says, I love rum. There's all sorts of new rums. Steve Hayes, I will look into Scientology if it helps with depression. It does. Read Dianetics. It actually, Scientology can cure depression in 3 days. And that, of course, whenever something gets attacked, whether it's Trump or whether it's, thank you so much, Jane. There you go. cchr.org. There you go. You can read all about it. cchr.org is a fantastic group. Or cchr.com. That's absolutely right. Well done. And there's a very interesting tip I'll give you. If ever you see any evil going on in the world, something that you think, you're walking down the street one day and you go, that's not quite right. I guarantee you there's a psychiatrist at the root of it. And when you look into the history of psychiatry and what the psychs have done to this planet, the whole COVID thing, let's be honest, what was it? It was a military-grade psychiatric programming operation. This thing was entirely designed by psychiatrists. That's what it was. And now, Linda McGuire says, once in a while, or a while in once, a jolly good tipple is most commendable. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And we do have a very good selection of tipples here at Camelot Castle. We work very closely with a Cornish gin company. And we've got some amazing gins, by the way. I'm just going to have to show you this. We introduced. Hang on one second. I'm just getting these from over here. For those of you that are patriotic gin drinkers, we have here the Nigel Farage red gin. And then we have the Nigel Farage blue gin. And then we have the Farage white gin. And for those of you that are true British patriots and sovereign beings, and if you enjoy a bit of a gin and tonic, I have to say they've done a very, very good job. And it's a bespoke Cornish gin company and run by a lovely elderly couple. And they're selling very, very well. So if you want your gin here now, Jono Anthony says, "What are the crumpets like these days?" The crumpet in Cornwall is always pretty good. The tart here is always pretty good. Emma Jane says, "I stood up to psychiatry. They don't like it at all. Years I worked behind the scenes helping people. Withdrawal from the drugs is awful." Well done you, Emma. That is a very, very... You see, you know what I find interesting about these shows? Is you find out there that there are people who... they never brag. They don't really say all the wonderful things they do to help people. But Emma Jane's, on behalf of all the people that you have helped that never took the time to say thank you, and even on behalf of those who did take the time to say thank you, I think everybody watching this show would like to say thank you very, very much for standing up to psychiatry. And by the way, I'd ask everyone here, if you ever meet a psychiatrist, ever, do please give them the cchr.org website. Some of them are redeemable. Not many of them, but some of them are redeemable. And if you give them the information about what the subject is that they have been up to, you will find that it's a very, very good thing to do. Back to the crumpet. The crumpet here is absolutely awesome at the moment. It is marvellous. Eleanor Boucher says, "I'm going to look up Scientology." Well, I would look up Scientology. It's a good thing to do. But go to the official website. Go to Scientology.org. Dr. Hilary Jones, the government spokesman on COVID, is a psych. Yep, doesn't surprise me at all. There's a lot of psychs in government. A lot of psychs in government. It's a shame. It's a shame, because once psychiatric philosophy creeps into a culture, I mean, that is the ultimate cultural destruction. There's a few things that, I mean, they're behind the whole trans movement. That is entirely a psychiatric program. The migrant invasion, that's entirely a psychiatric program. The depopulation plans, that is entirely a psychiatric program. The digital money plans, that is entirely a psychiatric program. You will find, and that is why the CCHR.com website, I challenge any of you, go on there, watch the videos on there, and you will come away with a completely different viewpoint of the world, a completely different understanding of the world, and you will start to know what you can do to turn the situation around. And one of the things you can do to turn the situation around, by the way, is actually pop on down to Camelot and come and meet all the different like-minded people that come here every day now. You know, Camelot has become a gathering point for people who want to stand up, who want to, tell the truth and do the right thing. Hi, Katie.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. Would you like any tea or coffee before I do the machine?
I wouldn't mind a coffee, thank you, Katie. Thank you so much. It's very thoughtful of you.
Single shot cappuccino?
Just a single shot cappuccino would be lovely. Thank you so much. That was very thoughtful. That was Katie, who's one of our favourite staff here, she was just shutting up the coffee machine, and she just thought, I might like another little coffee, which I wouldn't mind just before I shouldn't really have one before I go to bed, should I? But Joe Anthony says, it's been over 2 years since I tried the Crumpets when I did a live from Camelot Castle. They were delightful, I might add. Well, you must come back again. Jane Cole says, come join our Camelot group. Jane, could you put up the details of the Camelot group on the screen? And it would be very, very nice to let people know. John, as always, bravo for being a beacon of truth, love and integrity on the top of psychiatry. If only people would do their research, they would discover that it is utter hogwash. It really is utter hogwash. And by the way that you can do your research on psychiatry is the CCHR website, which I want to put up again because it is so good. Now, I'm also going to let you know a little secret. And this is a tip, and I will give you this tip. It's a very important tip. We all have good days and we all have bad days. I don't care how aware you are. I don't care how brilliant you are. I don't care how wealthy, poor, ugly, beautiful you are. You might have 1 billion followers on Instagram, and 1,000 super yachts. I don't care. You're going to have a day where things are not going quite the way you want them to go. Here is a trick. Take this website, the CCHR website, and send it out to 1,000 people, or 100 people, or 500 people. Let people know about the harm that psychiatry is doing. And I will personally guarantee to you that your personal luck will start to improve. This is one of the most successful actions I've ever done. I remember I was down to my last few £100 in London a few years ago now, but I really, really was not doing well in any way materially. I was doing quite well spiritually. I wasn't that worried about it, but I really needed to turn things around, and I needed to start to see my luck improve. And you know what I did? I got a whole load of DVDs that relate to CCHR, and I posted them through hundreds of letterboxes, and I put leaflets out that explained exactly what psychiatry is doing to harm families and harm this nation. And you know what? Things started to turn around. Within weeks, things had really, really accelerated. I just didn't quite know where the luck came from. And I traced it back. And it came from that decision to actually do that, to actually tell people the truth. And that's why, when we decided to go public about the government wanting to take over Camelot Castle and effectively close it down for you and close it down for this village, and just use it as some sort of internment prison for the migrant invasion force that's coming into this country every day now, to the tune of the hundreds and hundreds of people are coming in. I thought, if I go public on this, I'm going to get really, people are going to think this is silly. But you know what? We went public. We have had thousands of emails. We've had thousands of letters. I've read each and every one of them. I haven't replied to them all, and I really, I know thousands of you have written to me. I just have not literally had the brain space. They've all been collated, and the responses have been amazing. But I just want to say thank you so much, and that's why I'd ask you to share this video. Kylie Wright says, thank goodness you stood in your truth, John. Well, thank goodness I did. Thank goodness I did, because now the whole country has become aware. We have 40,000 invaders, 40,000 invading migrants in hotels in Britain right now. Right now, they're in hotels like this in Britain, being paid for by you, you're paying for them, and your government is doing nothing about it at all. And they need to start doing something about it. And by the way, this whole thing could be solved in 15 minutes. It takes one call to the Royal Navy to tell the Royal Navy to do their jobs and turn those boats around. That's all that needs to happen. And, if you're a leader of a country, you do have a duty to defend the island. You do have a duty. And what I'd like each and every one of you to do is to start calling for that. What would be possibly wrong with having the Navy turn these boats around? They turn 2 or 3 around, the others won't come. It's just that simple. It's not a difficult thing to do. And by the way, now, Susie Mahoney, now, this young lady here, what can I say? Her father was my father's, one of his best friends. And Susie came to stay the other day. And she says, we've all missed these wonderful talks, John. So well done, and thank you. Always do good. It will come back and make us all feel really worthwhile. So true. So true. Very, very important. But Susie, we've been working in other realms. We've been to Kazakhstan twice in the last month. We've been doing whatever we can to prevent these stupid idiots going and creating some sort of nuclear war. We don't need that. We don't need radioactive cornflakes or anything else for that matter. Emma Jane says, I was so happy when I saw it on GB News. I'm not too far from Tintagel, and it would have been devastating locally. Well done. Well, it is devastating. We are one hotel that turned it down. There are 44,000. I mean, how many hotels is that? I think it's 350 hotels in the UK took the King's shilling. That is the truth of the matter. 350 hotels said yes. To my knowledge, only one has said no. So I'm sure there are others that have said no. But the fact of the matter is that's what it is. Susie, I hope you're coming for New Year's, by the way. I know Jane's coming for New Year's. New Year's here, by the way, just so you know. New Year's here is the best night of the year. It is absolutely fantastic. And Jane is usually here. And hopefully, Susie, you can come down this year. It's really a great, great thing. It's virtually booked up already, but maybe still be a couple of rooms. But it's a lovely time to be here, and usually get quite good weather, actually. Funnily enough, on New Year's, we usually get a very bright New Year's Day here. August, we usually get rain between you and me, but people come here anyway. But we do. August not good here, but this time of year, lovely, absolutely fantastic. Although this August wasn't bad. Well, you should, Susie, you should. And bring that naughty brother of yours. He's not that naughty. He's a very Sue Chippendale. She's usually here. We have all sorts of. We've got a bit of a Camelot Castle club, which we're going to be expanding out now. And thankfully, the censorship on Twitter is. I've got a new Twitter account. Please subscribe to it. Help me find my old friends on Twitter. We're going to be doing a bit more to expand out these things. If you could share this broadcast, it's very much appreciated. And subscribe to it as well. If you subscribe, that's the thing to do, and it's much appreciated. Well, beware the invasion. Remember that little tip I told you. Remember I told you about CCHR. The root of all evil is a psychiatrist. There is no evil that you will run into on the planet. You know, people talk about the devil and hell and things like this. These are man-made constructs. And I'm sorry to have to tell you that the devil is far, far less dangerous than a psychiatrist. Far, far less dangerous. The real root of evil on planet Earth is a psychiatrist. And when you really take a look, and when if you've got to have the stomach for it. I tell you this: it takes a very, very brave man to look at the root of evil on this planet. And if you can do it, it's scarier. By the way, you will have worse nightmares. Sorry to tell you, than any horror movie you will ever have watched in your life, and you won't believe it. And that's just by watching the videos at cchr.com. Because if you knew how absolutely terrifying these psychiatrists are, Matt Hancock, who is actually in the jungle right now as we speak, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to seeing what the hell happens to this guy. I mean, he's a fucking glutton for punishment. I mean, this is an unbelievable PR move. I mean, if it works, it'll be a genius, but I don't think it will work for him. But I got to give him some kudos for going in there. I mean, fucking hell, he must be suicidal. Sorry, excuse me, I shouldn't say that. But he must be suicidal. But Matt Hancock, he's totally a product of psychiatry. His ideas are not his ideas. These are ideas that have been implanted into him using psychiatric, military-grade brainwashing programs. That's who Matt Hancock is. He does not own his own soul. He is completely and utterly enslaved by the psychiatric industrial complex. And you can stick that in the bank. That is 100% true. And if you go to this website here, cchr.org, trust me, you'll need a bit of bloody rum to get through that website, because I tell you, it's really, 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 really interesting. And, that's who it is. Boris Johnson, again, product of psychiatry. His father, Stanley, product of psychiatry. Absolutely a product of Malthus. He's absolutely brainwashed by Malthusian concepts. Malthus, of course, was the one who Here, see Susie Mahoney. Any injustice is evil, no matter what level, in my opinion. You are so right. Absolutely right, Susie. And the root cause of that injustice, you will find an actual being. There's a being at the root of it. And that being, you will find, is operating off of psychiatric programming. And so, you get to the root. It's like that, you used to have a treasure hunt where you pull the string and you want to know what's at the end of the string. And so you see a bit of evil sticking out. You just start pulling on the string. Okay, well, who caused that? And who caused somebody to do that? And okay, well, but who caused that? And when you really start examining, when you really do your research properly, you will find that there is a psych at the bottom of it all. Where can I buy Nigel Farage rum and gin? Well, at Camelot Castle you can buy it. We sell it here. But also Cornish gin, Rock Gin, sells it, and they are the manufacturers, and it is a delightful tipple to have. It will put you in the Christmas spirit. And what can I say? Psychology is going down a dark path too. Of course it is. Of course it is. Psychology is a second cousin to psychiatry. Clinical psychology courses funded by the NHS have been captured. I joined a group this week who are pushing back. One lady in the group is suing the Tavistock. Good group to sue. Good group to sue. Psychology, You see, initially, psychology was interesting. Psyche, spirit, ology, study of. Nothing wrong with that. But it's been hijacked by a bunch of people who deny the existence of the spirit. Look into it. You will find out that 40,000 foot soldiers, yes, Jackie, it is scary, and we did not want any of those foot soldiers in Tintagel. We did not want any of those foot soldiers in Tintagel. Angie, yes, I am drinking a coffee, but I'm also enjoying rather a nice little rum. It's a coconut rum, actually. It's really rather special. Really rather nice. On a Christmassy evening. So I just wanted to be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanted to give you the opportunity to reflect on all that we're doing. Please keep sharing. I'm very active on Twitter now. Telegram, follow our Telegram channels, Camelot Castle TV. If you see that we do something constructive, please share it forward. We do need your help tremendously. We need you to spread the word. The deep state, I'm sure, will do everything they can to try to destroy Camelot Castle now, because we've gone up against their planned destruction, you know. And we're going to keep pointing out that our government is engaging in cultural destruction. I happen to appreciate the British culture. I happen to appreciate you. I even appreciate that young man who shagged the chicken the other day, as was reported in the newspaper. His wife caught him shagging the frozen chicken, and somehow this got reported in the Great British Press. I even appreciate that aspect of our culture. It's what makes Britain completely different. You know, what is wrong with an Englishman that wants to shag a frozen chicken? I don't think that there's a great deal wrong with that, really. You know, his wife forgave him. I don't think, perhaps, well, I'm not going to comment on whether or not my wife would forgive me. But then again, I don't think that's something that I would engage in. But there we go. I appreciate our culture. What I don't appreciate at all is invading migrants, my dear wife is what she said about this. Yes, I think I'd somehow be in the doghouse if I was to be shagging the frozen chicken. That was I didn't think she was watching, but now I'm seriously in the doghouse now. No, but this other fellow, his wife did forgive him, darling. So, and he actually did it, and I just talked about it. So, you know, and I'm not planning on doing it. I can assure you, you know, I'm very complete in my situation. But there we go. Clearly, yeah. What a weirdo, shagging a chicken and frozen. No, genuinely, absolutely genuinely, this bloke did genuinely shag a chicken. I couldn't believe it. Somebody sent it to me. And it was, here we go. There it is. He shagged our Sunday dinner chicken, but I still love him. There you go, there he is. There's the chicken. And there's the husband and wife team. Wife stands by sex oddball hubby. He shagged our Sunday chicken dinner, but I still love him. See? Jane, would you forgive Jerry under those circumstances? I don't know. I don't know. I think Jerry would be for the high jump. But then again, I don't think Jerry would engage in that type of thing. Sue Chippendale says, what about the vicar with the Henry Hoover? Yes, heard about that. So there you go. You see, I love aspects of our culture like that. What could be wrong with that? Really, it's harmless, isn't it? But then you have these absolute maniacs who have come in here, and they've been doing all sorts of things to the children. And they've been introducing these things. I've got to be a bit careful because I don't want to lose my account, but you know what I'm talking about. We talk about these things on Telegram. And it's very evil, and at the root of that evil, I want us all to raise very funny. You see, this is what I call humor. He wanted a cool chick. Yes, I think he did. He got one. That's a bit rude, that one. I'm not going to read out that comment. Claudia Byrne says, I think not even cchr.org can help him. Well, you know what? Funnily enough, even that chicken shagger has probably been fucked up by a by a psychiatrist. I'm absolutely sure of it. Absolutely sure of it. Even that chicken shagger has been basically messed up by a psychiatrist. But there we go. Lovely to see you. Happy Christmas to you all. We'll be doing lots more broadcasts over this period. It's a lovely time of year to come to Camelot. Make sure you're booked in over Christmas. Make sure you're booked in over New Year's. It's going to be absolutely super fun here. The whole family is going to be here. Lots of your friends are going to be here. And we will see you all very, very soon.